This is a ASUS Caro laptop, but when something is on my desk means that the things are not going as needs to be. The laptop is pretty noisy and the temperatures are going up pretty fast. In this video, I'm going to fix that and I'm going to do some nice upgrades. This laptop belongs to my good friend and he works a very specific job that requires working outside, working to sites that are not really tech friendly. But anyway, when something is fixed and prevented on time, there is not gonna be a problem in the future. Also, I got a request to not remove any stickers that may void the warranty. Sometimes this is easy, but sometimes this kind of task may be difficult, but that's my job. These laptop models may be looking very difficult to disassemble, but actually is not that really hard, otherwise it's kind of simple. But there are a few key things that I should be careful. And if you're going to make something like this, after watching this video, you should be careful as well. To open the bottom case, usually I use something thin, like thin plastic, like this thin triangular tool. Using something sharp and metal is not recommended, because sharp and metal things may scratch the case or damage some plastic tooths that are connecting the both panels. And the bottom case usually may have some cables or some electronics that are connected to the motherboard. In this case, there are two cables from the LEDs that are on the bottom case. The next thing that needs to be disconnected is the battery. The battery must be disconnected because to avoid any hardware damage or causing some short circuits. The cooling fans are full of dust and dirt, and this is very usual, also the major reason for overheating. Now I move to disconnect the cooling fans, remove the RAM and the M2 disk, and check the laptop from the inside. And one more thing that maybe will be useful to anyone who watches this video. Before removing the RAM or disk or anything from the laptop, the battery must be disconnected. Because even though the laptop is not running, the power is still circulating on the motherboard. And one example, if I remove the RAM while the battery is connected, but the laptop is turned off, there is still chance that I can burn the RAM or cause some short circuit. Has that happened to me in the past? Yes, it's happened to me. I have burned a few RAMs and caused a short circuit a couple of times. Also, this may happen with the desktop computers as well. So before starting with anything, disconnect the power first and drain the power by pressing the power button. Cleaning this laptop is going to be a little bit different. And with one problem, I cannot remove or damage the stickers here because of the warranty. Fortunately, this laptop is not in use for a very long time. So the thermal paste on the GPU is still good and the liquid metal on the CPU is still fine. Also, the thermal putty that is on the other components is still pretty fine. So I don't have to change these currently, but later I will. To clean the laptop from dust and dirt, I use vacuum cleaner, compressed air, brushes, isopropyl alcohol, and etc. Just the usual things. After I finish with cleaning the first part of the laptop, I move to clean the both cooling fans. Carefully, I start by checking the both fans. I want to see how much dust is inside. And I want to see how can I clean the dust and etc. I need to check because these cooling fans are very sensitive to clean. I mean the fan blades can be easily broken. And unfortunately, the dust inside cooling fans is too sticky. And the only way to clean the both fans is to wash them. But before that, I've done some basic cleaning just to remove some dust and dirt as much as possible. Now it's a bath time. I washed the both fans using isopropyl alcohol, and then I used a little bit of degreaser, and I add deionized and distillated water. This is a solution that is used only if it's necessary, I mean if there is no other option. After I wash out the dirt and the dust, immediately I rewash the both cooling fans using pure alcohol, and immediately I start drying the both fans using a hair dryer. The both fans are like new again. Now I move to clean the bottom case. The bottom case is pretty dirty as well, and it's kind of sticky, but here I remove the both LEDs first. Because there is no other electronics on the bottom case, I wash the case using soap and warm water, and later I dry the case using a hair dryer and a brush. Actually, I'm using brush because to avoid any stains from water. Now we can see the difference between before and after. Now I move to clean the both LEDs from the bottom case. And the bottom case is ready. And the last thing here is I clean the battery from dust and dirt. Now I return the both cooling fans to the laptop. And again, I check the laptop to see if something I have missed before. I always check the laptop a couple of times because I don't want to miss something. And I always want to make stuff perfectly clean and perfectly functional. Now I place the bottom case, because I don't want the laptop to lay on the motherboard while cleaning the rest of the case. Now I start by cleaning the rest of the case, and here I used soft brushes, compressed air, a vacuum cleaner, isopropyl alcohol, soft napkins, and etc. Cleaning the keyboard is a bit different here. First, I have to pull the dust that is around and below the keys. And this is the most boring process, because most of the time I need to clean the keyboard over and over and over again until I get perfect results. Also, this can be a super long process, usually taking about an hour or two, and sometimes even more. I need to be super careful to not damage some of the laptop keys. To clean the keyboard in detail, I used isopropyl alcohol, a little bit of anti-static glass cleaner, and a soft and fluffy napkin. This can be a risky step if you have no experience, and all of this needs to be done super carefully. The liquid must not enter inside the keyboard, otherwise the keyboard may stop working. After I finish with the keyboard and a whole palm rest, I move to clean the rest of the case and the display. Also, once again, I check the laptop to be sure that everything is good and everything is clean. Now it's time to do some nice upgrades. Here I will go with two disks. One is 4TB M2 for data and the other is 2TB M2 for Windows and stuff. And the RAM is going to be 64 gigs in total. This machine has a 12th generation Intel i9 CPU and RTX 3080 Ti. So these upgrades will make this laptop complete. Before I continue with installing the Windows and the other things, I test the laptop first to see if everything is fine and to make some changes in the CMOS or the BIOS. I have to disable VMD technology under the advanced mode in BIOS. Otherwise, the Windows 11 won't recognize the both disks. Even if I use Intel Rapid Store Technology drivers or IRST, the disks won't be recognized. So if you have some problem with the ASUS and Windows 11, just disable the VMD and all will be fine. Now I've done one more shining up, and I continue with installing the Windows and Windows drivers, making some basic settings and testing, and this is the final result. The laptop is much quieter than before, the temperatures are normal again, and I can feel the speed is different. In general, this is a very beautiful machine, especially after the upgrades. I asked my friend to test some games on it and I went with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I used all max settings, but I add some extra graphics mods just to make the things a little bit harder. And I'm a little bit surprised how this game is running with all the stuff. Maybe you will expect some ultra high frame rate here, but with all the heavy stuff, the average frame rate is about 50. It's a little bit surprising. But for me the most important thing is that the cooling fans are quieter, the temperatures are normal, and everything is working well. And this is all about this ASUS Scar laptop. In general, this is a super beautiful, nice machine. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope this video will give ideas and inspiration to make some changes and make some stuff better. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.